Hey, and welcome to the Punchmans Report. I'm Jimmy Burrito, and this is a very special Punchmans Report on, what's the word I said before? Destination. It's a destination report.
No, it's a traveling, or what was it? I think we're
On the
traveling.
road.
On the road.
We're on the road.
We're on the
That's
road.
what it is.
Yes, we are. Apparently, your cohort is out of town, so somebody
Rusty
wanted to
is...
fill in, and I begged him. I said, just let me have one shot at this. I'll get it right.
Yeah, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Wolframajax. I play in Rel. I'm in Division 8, and I am terrible at this, so I'll do what I can to keep things running and hopefully we get a good
Don't be
report.
so hard on yourself.
Has anybody else filled in on the show yet?
As the whole recap, no, this is the first time either one of
time.
us has not been
Oh,
able.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get
So
right
what's your team name? We
Mine.
interviewed you in one of the
ago,
reports.
My team
Yep.
Thunderstrike did get interviewed.
Yeah.
I looked it over. I'm still new to the game, but I have so much fun in it. I just can't stop playing.
How'd your week go this week?
It went fairly well. I think actually we'll get to talk about that later in the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I got no complaints.
Good.
How did your week go?
It went terrible.
Oh no.
It actually wasn't too bad, but I did lose in horribly depressing fashion.
That happens to everybody.
But no permanent injuries, just a solid 2-0 loss.
I hear you. All right.
So we're going to be covering Division 9A and Division 8 again. Division 4 has been handed back to the trusting hands of Callisti. So all you motherfuckers will be all right.
Wait a minute. There's cussing on this show? I was.
Oh yeah, sorry. Are you
kidding.
your virgin ears?
Just kidding.
My sign off of "suck my dick from the back" is gonna be hard if you're not okay with the cursing.
I don't know how that's gonna work. That's not gonna play to the crowd here in Iowa, but we'll see what we can do with it.
I'm from the East Coast.
Yeah, you guys are used to that kind of talk. You're from Boston.
Rough and tumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Alright, so why don't we get started? We'll jump in on Division 9A, looking at the schedule.
Sure.
Routing snatches versus his bye week opponent, so he picked up 2 MVPs.
That was high week.
Both of them
week is obviously the
on, yeah, it's a bye week. Both of his MVPs went to Neural Warriors. That is amazing.
Oh my gosh, that is.
So lucky.
That is.
And both of them leveled, it looks like.
Yeah, you got a level here on Lady Mickey.
He went Mighty Blow on one and Block on the other. Burnt Boris the Blade.
Nice.
Malady Mickey.
Yeah, usually when I can only imagine what's going to happen. I have not had one of these admin games, but I have to assume it's going to go to a hurt dead player, Hobgoblin or something.
Oh. Yeah, so what they do is they actually have a bot on Discord that rolls randomly to pick 2 MVPs and 1 touchdown.
Okay, so you don't get
so you don't get to pick your own. But what you can do if you know that you have 1 or 2 bye weeks coming up, you can fire players down to maximize your chances of getting them on good players.
Very sneaky.
So I'm just going to take a quick look at that team to see, did he fire his riders? He fired most of his riders, so he only has 2 right now. So it looks like that's what he did. Tommy Too Tall, smart man, got 2 levels on the Warriors.
Nice.
Cool, cool.
Well played.
Alright, so then moving on to Cold-Blooded X's versus Norse Unleashed. I got tied up on day 5 because you guys advanced early this week. But, so day 4 is Cold-Blooded X's versus Norse Unleashed. It's a 1-1 tie.
1-1 tie.
So what do you think about this game?
Well, take a look here. We've got Cold-Blooded X's, 12 armor breaks. Norse 10. That was pretty even. I don't see...
Even on the armor breaks.
Yeah, let's take a look.
But,
well,
and looking at the blocks.
Even on the KOs and injuries.
No, even on blocks, but the removals were heavily favoring the Norse.
Armor 7 is just not happening today. Huh.
Yeah. Lasting injuries, dead skink on the Cold-Blooded X's is a sidestep skink, so nothing too special, but it's unfortunate. But the Norse Unleashed took an armor bust on the Wolf Warrior. The Adi Mundi. Man, that sucks.
Yeah, that's an expensive mistake right there. But I mean, you can keep him around for a while. He's got strength 4 still. It's not like he's gonna go anywhere. But and you're
Yeah, as one of
armor 8.
2 armor 8 players on the Norse team to
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. They tend to be like pillars early on for a Norse team. That's too bad. But he did pick up a ton of SP on Eystein Oder, his berserker. He got 9 SVP on that guy, who picked up a level. So not a total bust. No, they start with jump up. He picked up plus agility, so that's he got a stat up. Yeah, the Norse berserkers start with block, frenzy, jump up, so they are like born and bred mighty blow palmers.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so 2 expulsions. You see there was a fair amount of fouling this game.
I see
Probably
serfs, which is usually
helped with
I always
the.
thought the Norse team had more surfing on their team, but it looks like
Oh yeah.
Cold-Blooded did 2 of them. It's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe setting up was trying to set up for serfs and didn't get the rolls and got counter served. Gotta be careful for that.
Gotta be careful.
But otherwise, 1-1. Some fouls favoring the looks like favoring the Norse. Put them over the edge on the removals, but ball possession was even. Blocking was even, so it just looks like they traded blows.
Yeah, everything was pretty even throughout this game, other than a few extra kills and 1 extra injury.
Yeah, I bet you they each scored on their drive, and that was it. Took their 8 turns and scored. But
And
we'll see.
MVP
Maybe one of you guys can let us know. What's that?
MVP going to the skink. Anything interesting there?
No, Skink MVP is unfortunate. He did get a level on Amy Good Gorilla, though, so that's exciting. Picked up Kaz with Amy.
Anything else stand out?
So, yeah. No, let's move on to the next game. Looking at Battle Brothers, 3-0 win over Reasonably Greedy. Looks like every week poor Vort is losing 3-0 with his goblins.
Well,
it's too bad.
Yeah, it's goblins. I mean, you're
and
fun, right?
And his MVP was a star player.
Oh, you hate to see that.
So he didn't even get that. That's too bad.
7 armor breaks, 3 expulsions, so he was trying to foul.
Oh,
right.
Well, the expulsions on a goblin team are usually star player or secret weapons. Yeah.
See, I'm thinking he was taking bribes to keep them in.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just he had to get them out of there.
Eventually they go out. Yeah. When they score three times on you.
Then I need to see 15 expulsions. Then
you need a ton of bribes. You can't get enough bribes to cover that.
Yeah.
So yeah, game goes to the Battle Brothers, but it was not without loss. One of them is an agi-busted lineman, but the other one's a dead lineman. The agi-busted, I mean, the linemen, the peasants, they only have 2 agility, so an agi-bust is kind of like the golden injury, but they're going to be out those 2 guys for next week.
Who's he got coming up next? Take a look.
I don't know. Let's take a look.
Take a look here. That is for 5 Battle Brothers. They have Sugar and Spite. Dark Elf.
Sugar and Spite, so yeah, elves.
Well, those elves are going to move on you.
Yeah, you kind of want those extra peasants for their boots.
Bodies on the field.
It's too bad.
Well,
but looking at the statistics, it was a fairly low block game. 31 blocks for the Battle Brothers to 24 for the Goblins. A ton of removals for the Bretonians.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, 6 KOs, 4 injuries, which is not unexpected. Yeah, but the Bretonians typically don't tend to have a lot of tackle. But I don't know if you watched last week's episode, we noticed that they actually did pick up quite a bit of tackle, surprisingly, and we were kind of wondering why. This may explain why he took tackle before dodge, and his blitzer companion picked up MVP. He took tackle last week and leveled in 1 week and got dodge, so now he's got blodge tackle.
Now is that for a blitzer on a Bretonian team, is that the standard? Do you usually take tackle? Or is it just all over the place? It seems like
So
he's taking it.
first level is usually dodge, almost always.
Okay.
If you roll doubles, you take Mighty Blow
Sure.
or guard, but usually Mighty Blow.
Alright.
And then if you get Mighty Blow on him, then yeah, tackle becomes a lot more interesting. Usually though, I think your blockers. I mean, I play Bretonians, but I've never seemed to do well with them. So take this advice with a grain of salt. But your blockers start with wrestle, pick up guard, stand firm, tackle, or something along those lines.
Gotcha.
Turn them into like rackle pieces that are your sackers. In which case, the blitzers, you're looking to make them a little bit more utility pieces. But
yeah, things went about as well as you could expect, though, for a Goblin team. At least he didn't have any kills. He had none, right? Let's see.
no kills
so you got
against.
Out there without dead players.
Yeah, and he did level. He got two Kaz on Callisti Maya for a level, and got a Goblin level. So it's not totally it's not a total bummer of a week.
Yeah, I've seen much worse results for Goblin teams.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
All right, so let's move on to the next game, which is Exploitation Cinema. Got a bye week, and fortunately, he got a MVP on a line orc, Chork Norris, but he also got one on a black orc, Terror Cruise. Nice. So is that? Yeah, so he picked up guard. So that was a level for him. He got guard.
Nice.
That's rolling along.
His lineman has dirty player. Now is that unusual? I would think you want to keep him. I guess if you're going to come in, drop a beat, you want to do it with a lineman instead of one of your better pieces.
Yeah, so it's debatable. I know Rusty likes to get block on his line orcs, because he doesn't tend to foul with his. Others, I remember Agrain is an orc coach in my division a couple seasons ago. He rerolled. I don't remember what he's playing now, but he was a foul first orc team if I ever saw one. And he actually, in his opening season, made it to the playoffs and removed a top seed by fouling out their mummy or something, Tomb Guardian, on like turn one. Yeah, so it has its places, but
I'll have to take a look at one of those teams to see how they play.
Yeah,
otherwise, I've just seen the orc teams that just like to bash you to death.
I mean, it's part of it. Got to bash them down on the ground and then
get them down to foul them.
Yeah, get the fouling.
Anything else
interesting
about this? So moving on.
No, it's bye week.
Bye week.
Nothing to talk about.
Gotcha.
So let's move on to Great Cold Ones versus Sugar and Spite.
Great Cold Ones. Sugar and Spite.
Norse and Dark Elves. And the Norse win, 1-0.
That, well, they had 3 times as many armor breaks. 5 armor breaks to 15. Anything else in the statistics? Ball possessions, pretty much the same.
So, I don't know if you remember the week that Eisenmike had last week with his blocks, where he had like 70-something.
Yeah.
So this is a step down to only 35 blocks, which is a lot lower than he was probably hoping to get against the Dark Elves, which means the Dark Elves were probably successfully getting the fuck out of dodge.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. I've never kept my hands on a Dark Elf player. They just take off running.
Slippy boys.
Yeah, they're
but
really
he still managed to get 5 KOs in a Kaz, and that Kaz was a MNG on a lineman. But so he did manage to make those blocks stick. Probably some fouls in there as well.
Yeah.
Ball possession was even.
Pretty much it was 43-43, and then the only difference was 25% in your own half for Great Cold Ones, 36%.
And blocks were relatively even too. It's slight favor to the Norse, obviously, but
the KOs, obviously,
the removals. Yeah, the removals favored the Norse quite a bit.
Once you start removing else, they have a little harder time setting up that screen they do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, so it looks like Mike was able to pop the ball out on the elves trying to stall, but couldn't score, and then on his half, put it in.
now
Not a ton of SVP as a result, because there was only the one Kaz.
Yeah. Now Mike's a name I've heard around. Has he been in the league for a while? Do you know?
Yep.
Okay.
I forget. We did a punching annex with him.
Okay.
He played Lizards in Rel 1 last season. I forget what season he joined with them. It might have been. It was a fairly early season though, and he had those Lizards for a long time, and he just re-rolled this year for the first time in a bit. So
I've seen the
went
guys
Norse.
Good. Nothing else?
Yeah, so not too much to talk about with this game. Looks like a good solid win for the Norse. So let's move on to the next game. The Mesozoic Mighty Men 2-1 win over the mainland Creepers.
Pull that up here.
This is a big win for the Lizards.
2-1.
Kakengrad beating Wedge. I think Wedge was the leader, right? Before this week, and now he's
was the leader here.
Yeah, so he was 3-0-0, so this is his first loss. And the Mighty Men are now tied with them 3-0-1.
Anytime an Underworld team is leading the division, I give him major credit. That's
Yeah.
great. I mean,
Got a good solid start.
Yeah,
you should
don't
take
hold your head low on this. I mean, you're doing really well.
take a look at his team when you get a chance later. It's pretty impressive start for Underworld.
Let's take a look at some statistics here. The Mighty Men had 50% ball possession compared to 31%.
Yeah, so the Lizards held the ball, beat up on them Goblins, got 57 blocks, succeeded to 33, so they just took the ball and punched them around.
Gave them a beat in there with 4 KOs to 1. Must have started removing players and snowballed from there.
Yeah, so 6 removals and a surf. 14 armor breaks, which on 57 blocks, that's not too bad. And a dead skink, the Laphosaurus Daniel. That's too bad. But he is unskilled, so that's okay.
Yeah, you can replace him cheaply. MVP?
But, yeah. MVP went to a Saurus, which is great.
Yeah. Did he pick up anything, or did he already have 2 blocks?
No, he picked up 5 points from the MVP, so that means he was just below that.
Alright, and
It's a fairly good SVP week, though, for these teams. I guess 5 Kaz in the game.
Yeah, they both picked up quite a bit of
Plus a
SVP
kill.
here.
Yeah. Looks like the Creepers, oh boy, picked up a bunch of levels. The Blitzer, the Thrower, and the Goblin all picked up levels.
Yeah.
So peek in and take a look at them, actually, because that that Blitzer is his plus strength Blitzer. And he picked up Frenzy. That's interesting. I like it. 4 strength gave him Blitzer with Frenzy.
Yeah, that'll be
and his
I'm
Goblin.
that Frenzy, but when that Skaven Blitz, I mean, you're so vulnerable at that point on your second move, but he's got a plan for you, I hope. Or maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's
a positioning piece. It's a utility piece. Yep. It's setting up. I mean, I'm a big fan of Frenzy. You can really open up the field quite a bit, and having that threat of a Frenzy piece changes the dynamic of how your opponent has to think about the game.
Yeah.
They have to close in the field a little bit on themselves. They can't move themselves right up against the sideline. So he picked up Frenzy on that Strength Blitzer, and his Goblin that picked up a level, a touchdown, got Agility. So that is amazing.
Yeah, so even you got a loss, you still picked up plenty of pieces there. So
And his other throw picked up Block. So that's, yeah, big week.
could have been worse. Can't complain about that.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else touching?
Congrats, Kagengrad. Let's move on to the next game. Oh, Comrade, where art thou? 2-1 win over the Flippin' Dead.
Let's see here. O'Connell, where art thou? Big difference here in armor breaks. 12
Yeah,
breaks
so
to
blocks
7.
were even, and armor breaks were almost double
Yeah.
in favor of the Flippin' Dead.
Now, what's the average armor value?
On Kislev is 8.
Yeah, 8.
And on on Necro it's 8 as well.
8-ish.
A couple pieces that are 9.
Right.
Kislev have a couple pieces that are 87, but so that's good for the Flippin' Dead. But so they got their 5 KOs and a Kaz, while the Kislev had much fewer removals. But so yeah, even though they were getting punched around and beat up a little bit, still able to pull off the win. Unfortunately, though, look at that loner for the Kislev.
Our team also had a pass and a successful catch. I would have thought the other team would have done more passing and catching, but I guess it happens.
Oh yeah, I mean Necro. A lot of times you'll have Ghoul in the back pick up the ball. Yeah, and you're flipping it out to a Wolf up the field. It's pretty common. I mean, it's 3 agility pass without any skills to benefit it, so it's not ideal. Actually, part of why I lost my game this week is because I failed a handoff to a Wolf that would have let me score, and it bounced into the worst position possible, and he was able to recover it and score. And like, it went coast to coast on me in 2 turns. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But it is a part of Necro scoring, is you're gonna have to move the ball with wide sweeps, and you need to make passes to do that.
Now, all the teams in this division, did they start out at TV 1000? Or was it?
So this is a fresh roll division, so they all had fresh teams, but they did play in the Greenhorn Cup, and these 9A is full of teams that tended to do better in the Greenhorn Cup.
Okay.
Had better records or better development or whatever. So they were about 11 to 1200 SP or TVV. TV.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their average team size here, and like Eisen Mike's team has 1520 TV, and I thought, boy, for just starting, he's crushing me in 5 weeks.
He went 4-0 in the Greenhorn Cup, so the preseason he went 4-0, and then started this season with 2 bye weeks, so he was able to just sit on a bunch and just accumulate levels on some berserkers and stuff. So it was pretty. It's good for development, bad for keeping your TV nice and trim, because you you pick up a whole bunch of SPM guys.
Yeah. Right. Is that the last team in this division?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with division 8.
Well, hang on there.
Oh, you got something? It's your show. You tell me where to go.
Let's take a look at the leaderboard. So Rusty and I haven't had a chance to really do that this season yet.
Yep.
So this is a little bit spoiled by some week 5 games that had already happened. So Mainland Creepers already played their week 5 game and got a win.
Yep.
But before that,
4 wins.
so the top of the leaderboard here was all super tight with 3 wins, no draws, and 1 loss between the Orcs, the Lizards, the Norse, and the Underworld. This is really impressive. So the top of the division are all these, 2 AV7 teams and 2 AV9 teams, but and then there's a whole slew of people at 2-1-1 and 1-1-2 or 1-2-1.
Yeah, slots 5 through 8 are sitting at 2 wins, so they're not out of it, obviously, this early in the season.
Yeah, so the Nurgle, Tommy Too Tall's Nurgle, Bretonians, the Lizards, and the Necro. And the Norse Unleashed are all kind of in that same, 6-7 points for the 2-1-1 teams, and then 5 points for the Norse Unleashed, 4 points for the Kislev. Down here, Sugar and Spite took a couple of losses because he started the season after a couple of bye weeks had already been played, so that he inherits those bye week losses. Yeah. And then poor Vort with his goblins running up the bottom with 1-0-4.
That's okay. He's a goblin player. He's gonna hold his chin up. He's just gonna keep trying to get kills out there.
Yeah, if like we've been saying, he's just got to rack up the. I mean, he got really lucky getting Hail Mary pass on his Bombardier to start the season, and then now he's just working on getting the level for his Fanatic and Looney, and trying to keep those 3 players plus the 2 trolls alive.
I'll pull up his roster real quick. Did you say he got Hail Mary pass on the Bombardier?
Oh yeah, to start the season.
That is gold.
You rolled 2 MVPs on him, and
I've always heard of this mythical combination that you can put together, like if they let you pick your skills, but he got it in the actual game in a league.
Yeah, it's
some damage with that. That'll be the funniest thing ever.
It's fun. I haven't actually watched any of his games. I want to do it to see how he's using the player. But Rusty had a team with a Hail Mary pass Bombardier, and he would just. I had like a killer Nurgle team, and he had that Bombardier on the back on his goal line, all the way in the back, and he dropped it right on my line and took out 3 Nurgle warriors or something, and my killer Pestigore on the first turn.
I guess that's kind of where you play goblins for those funny things that happen like that.
Yeah.
Now, can he take pro or anything? Like, because I know that if he fumbles that pass, he's in trouble. But other than spending a reroll.
So he gets agility access on normals, and then he gets general access on everything else is on doubles.
Now, what would be a good idea for this player development? Because this is so rare, you hardly see it. What's the next logical step?
So Rusty and I were trying to think about this before. I don't know if it was on the show or off air, but it almost kind of precludes you from taking anything that you would normally take on him, because you can't take like accurate or safe throw. Or I guess you could probably take safe throw still if you roll doubles. I'm not exactly sure, but how that would work with Hail Mary pass, because Hail Mary pass makes it so it's
always inaccurate.
It's never intercepted, but is never accurate.
Right.
So if you have safe throw, does that work?
Does it let you? Might be one of those skills that you can't take, like Stand Firm or Frenzy. There's certain ones that you can't do.
Yeah.
So that might be one of them. But yeah, that's going to be the most fun I bet for him this entire season, is if he just starts dropping bombs. Good for him.
Yeah.
Right. Any other teams you want to look at here? Going back to the leaderboard?
No. That's good for Division 9A. We can take that break here and go to the bathroom, and then come back when we talk about Division 8.
Yeah, we'll take a break, listen to the sponsors, and go buy stuff from them. We'll be right back. Thanks.
Welcome back to Division 8. The Elegant Eights? What was the name
of
your
Eights is what I've been calling it.
Hateful Eights?
Hateful Eight.
I forget. No, Rusty has a thing for him. He's got names and title cards. I forget what they are. The Great Eights. That's what it is.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I think that's it. I could be wrong. I have terrible memory.
That's okay.
But
that's okay.
All right. Let's jump right in. Look at the first. So this is your division.
This is my division. This is where I play.
So we'll cover your team last. But
yeah, well, I'll try not to be a homer for my team.
Let's start with the first game. Frozen Dead North 2-1 win over the Bad QB squad.
Frozen Dead North, Bad QB squad. Take a look here. 2-1 win for Frozen Dead North.
Jumping in, looking right at the statistics, the blocks are almost dead even, and the armor breaks slightly favor the Necro.
The kills certainly favor the Necro.
But the kills, look at those kills.
Yeah.
They favor the Necro. Poor Bad QB squad.
Poor Bad QB squad, that is true. Everything was going okay there except for that.
This is a dark week poor. I'm glad Rusty isn't here to see this. Poor the dark Jacoby Brissett, dead.
Oh, poor Jacoby. He can't catch a break, can he?
Mighty Blow Claw piling on Blitzer for BQB squad.
Now, why does Rusty like
Dust
Jacoby
bought
Brissett?
the farm. Oh,
Did he say why or just he glommed onto it right away?
He likes this team gimmick.
Okay.
He's a New York Jets fan, so
Oh,
a couple of the quarterbacks are Ryan. You see here the MVP is Warp Zone Troll Ryan Fitzpatrick, but Jacoby Brissett, he's good. He's good. I don't know why he's got to be dark Jacoby Brissett, but I don't ask questions.
Yeah. Well, who cares? He's dead, so there is no more dark Jacoby Brissett. Now,
but
he didn't actually get pick up for the other side, did he?
We'd have to check. There's
alive?
2 deaths, so I don't know which death happened first.
Let me jump out of here real quick.
So either's got Beast Creep or he's got Dark Jacoby.
Take a look at Frozen Dead North's team roster here. He's got. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's got Dark Jacoby.
Oh, Jacoby lives.
Lives
well,
on.
I wouldn't call that living. Poor fella. Oh, well.
That's okay.
Rusty can't be too.
Still pretty mad. But look at this. Ryan Fitzpatrick got MVP, leveled, picked up Claw. So he's got Claw Mabel block on Ryan. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
You don't sound too enthused. Have you already played Bad QB Squad?
I have not played either of these teams.
Oh, okay.
I'm not looking forward to getting 2 guys killed either. I know that they got 2 guys with Claw usually. On,
so
the Necro team.
The Necro, the 2 Wolves, yeah. One of them leveled this week, Deadliest Hobo. Picked up, let's see what he had. He had Blodge before, and he picked up he's got his Flesh Golems up first. That's weird. He picked up Blodge and he had picked up Sidestep on that guy. So he's got a Blodge Step, presumably Ball Carrying Wolf, to go with his Mighty Blow Claw block movement Wolf.
Yeah, that's trouble.
So good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm jealous. His wolves are better than mine.
He's got block on a Flesh Golem with guard. Those are they just stand in the middle and don't do anything, but that's what they get paid to do.
They get paid to tie up dudes.
Yep, and it's just like a pit of misery when you get tied up with them sometimes.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Until you run into a team with Claw, and then they're just like...
Then they're butter. Just slicing through it.
Poor guys.
So, good win for Frozen Dead North.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett joins the team.
Poor BQB squad.
Yeah, the
feel bad.
Squad. No. Head to the next
show. Still got things in the oven.
Yeah, still got to take care of business. It's always next game.
New QBs, new bad QBs to draft.
Yep. There will always be a Cleveland Browns drafting a player that you'll be able to name later. Poor Cleveland.
All right, let's move on to the next game of the week. The Castlevania Creeps tie 1-1 versus the Mounted Tetons.
Now this is a game I did watch. I am friends with both of these coaches online through our league, so I have to watch this game. And this is one of the most entertaining games I have seen all year. And I mean, I've only watched 50 to 100 games, but the funniest thing happened in this game. I don't like any vampires. I just detest the players. Turns out Mounted Tetons killed the vampire on the Castlevania Creeps, who apothecaried, came back into the game, and 5 turns later, Mounted Tetons killed the same vampire. But he regened.
He regened? Yeah.
Oh my god. I fell out of my chair.
I don't see him on here, so he must have survived.
He survived, but he got an apothecary survival and a regen survival. And
it's impressive. The only team in Blood Bowl that has that possibility.
Yep. So other than that, it was a really good game. I know that they had some trouble picking up the ball. The Castlevania Creeps, they tried to pick up the ball in the backfield with a Thrall 3 times, and he failed 3 times.
Yeah.
Take a look at
It's too bad.
Here.
I mean, you got vampires, so you pick up the ball of those vampires.
You might want to.
Agi 4.
Take a look. Now the Tetons held the ball way longer, 56% ball possession.
Yeah.
And the blocks, 52 blocks. 3 kills.
Yeah, a bunch of blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of blocks and removals. So he was doing his darndest.
He was throwing haymakers out there.
Yeah.
And vampires do what they do. They wait for you to make one mistake, and they take the ball and they score. So
yeah,
that's kind of what happened here. Now,
was it? Yeah. So did he? How did he do on? So get hypnotic gaze, 4 successes out of 6. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So, but he's using his gazes. His bloodlusts were about right where you'd expect them, 83%.
One thing that really stood out for me in this game, I'm looking at it right now, is this troll only failed 1 time for a stupidity roll. When the troll's on target like that, you've got a nice strength 5 guy actually doing work. Really helpful.
He is a big smart boy.
Yeah. They fed him some good food that week or something, and he was happy to be out there.
Unfortunately, the MVP landed on a Lion Orc. Wolframajax Breakface.
Hey, that's a good name.
Worst player on the team.
Worst player on the team and in the league. Oh, wow. Oh.
And the other MVP landed on a Thrall with 21 SP, which is
that's actually
quite a bit.
Okay for Castlevania Creeps. They do most of their work through their Thralls, I've noticed. They get it
yeah.
They get it done through the Thralls. So may not be the worst thing. Anything else?
Oh right, this was the team that had all the level 2
Oh, they
Thralls.
have so many Thralls. I mean, he could just mount all Thralls if he wanted to and give you a decent game.
Yeah, unfortunately, they being 6337 for their stat line, they don't tend to stick around. And I can see here, he's got an armor busted one, agi busted one, sorry, a move busted one, and a niggled one. So.
Yeah, that is their only downside.
Kind of hard if you're going to be getting developed thralls to keep that SP on your team.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Looking at.
Yeah.
We'll skip that one. Go to Dead Wrestler Society's 1-0 victory over Siberian Hopscotch Mafia.
Siberian Hopscotch Mafia. Now I have played this team. I have not played Dead Wrestler Society. Take a look at some stats here. Now. This team plays, the Siberian Hopscotch Mafia plays a little more like I'm used to seeing Kislev, where they're throwing passes. And in this game, it looks like he did throw 2 passes. He had 4 armor breaks. No TDs.
Yeah, only 4 armor breaks is interesting. I mean, he only got 26 blocks. But you'd expect, you know, you're going up against skinks, you get some nice, juicy 87 stunty players. But this team, if I recall, the Mafia does not have a single tackle piece. And their Mighty Blow piece was... Oh no, this team does have block tackle. No Mighty Blow. Note C. Nope. Oh, just on the bear. But I'm not going to be punching skinks with the bear unless something went really bad for the
you
stars.
Don't rely on him to hunt down a bear. Or hunt down a skink.
So yeah, so I guess not too surprising that they weren't able to get a ton of armor breaks. But they did get 2 Kaz on those 4 breaks, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I assume they were planning to jump into the cage, but I don't know who.
You planned that way.
I don't know who they were running the ball with on the Dead Wrestler Society. I don't know if he runs with a skink or if he got it in somebody else.
Oh.
But I know that
he has Mr. Perfect. That's who he ran the ball with.
Mr. Perfect did some running?
Usually, yeah. So Mr. Perfect is his catch agi 4 sidestep skink.
Yeah.
And it is his most developed.
Yeah. Ag 4.
Sidestep.
Sidestep. Nice. So it just probably got a little too hard to break that cage, I would assume. I mean, the one thing I've noticed about playing at this level against Saurus is when you have 6 guys of strength 4, it's a pain to break the cage. You really have to plan your moves well and hope for the best. But when I played against Hopscotch, he was able to jump into my cage at any time, and wrestle the ball away. But I don't know. I didn't get to see this one.
So you wouldn't especially as the Mafia, you wouldn't try and break the cage. You would try and post up dudes on there if they did have a cage. I mean, Lizards aren't really a caging team. They set up screens. They're a field control team. They spread out and really try and pop holes. But all of his sources have block pretty much, except for the one that's strength 5.
Yep.
So if you're trying to go toe-to-toe and punch your way into their backfield, it's not going to go well for you, especially as Kislev. But you can just leap over it. And with none of these sources having break tackle yet, you can lock them up with linemen, wrestle a block or something like that. And those sources, they have to stand there and hope to remove or break the armor on those guys to get away. They're stuck otherwise.
Yeah.
So definitely some room for trying to tie them up.
So just strand the sources out away from each other and then leap over.
You tie. It's Rusty's favorite song. Tie up the sources, punch the skinks. Tie up the
I haven't heard that song. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, you should hear him singing.
Yeah.
Thing of beauty.
Sweet. Red Wrestler Society does pick up some SPP here.
Yeah, picked up 2 levels on the source. So I mentioned the sources here, but he got Killer Kowalski, rolled doubles, picked up Dodge on his source. So he's got a Blodge source. And then his other one, Mitsushiju. Oh, that's a skink, not a source. Never mind. But he did pick up Sidestep on that skink. But now he does have level 2 sources across the board, and you can see he's developing different roles for a few of them. He's got a block tackle one, he's got a bunch of block guard ones, Blodge source.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have taken Dodge on doubles for that. I've been debating this because I have a Frank with that I rolled doubles and I picked up Blodge. And I kind of wish I took diving tackle or something, but
Dodge is
it's okay. I mean, it's great if the other team doesn't have tackle pieces. Yeah. But if they have tackle pieces, it's kind of a waste. Because you're not going to be using the dodge away part of dodge on this guy. You're just going to be using it defensively. So it's like you get half a skill, makes him really hard to take down, but in my experience, it hasn't, I mean, I guess it's still great, but it hasn't been as great as I imagined it would.
It's not going to be that great if you run into dwarves, for example. It's going to lose some sparkle. Yeah. All right. Anything else stand out here for you?
No, we can move on to the next game, which is Respectable Gents 1-1 tie with Rouge's Gallery.
Rouge's Gallery. That is by far my favorite team.
He misspelled Rogue.
I do it all the time. That's
from last season.
I know.
Yeah, it took us a couple of games and then we realized it was spelled wrong.
Yeah, good times. That's an easy one to misspell. Let's take a look at some stats here. Respectable Gents, 11 armor breaks. Rouge Gallery, 13.
This is a high block number game, so
Good
over 100.
Lord, look at that, 51 blocks to 62 blocks.
Yeah, with plenty of removal sprinkled in for good measure.
Man, they were just punching each other left and right. Now,
yeah, it's 2 pretty bashy teams.
The Gallery got the better of the KOs and injuries. Though.
Yeah.
That stands out to me.
So they really beat up some goats. One of them, only one permanent injury. So 5 CAS total in this game. Only one of them was a permanent injury, but it was a strength bust on a goat, so that's unfortunate. Yeah. But it was a level 1 goat, so that's okay. Just replace him.
Yeah. They're cheap enough, aren't they?
Sure, yeah. So slight block number advantage to the Gents. Oh, that's interesting. They both their initials are both RG, so this stat sheet I'm looking at.
So
I'm mixed up. So actually, slight block advantage to the Rogues Gallery.
Rogues Gallery got 51 blocks.
But the armor breaks were pretty close. The removals, despite that, heavily favored Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
So 9 removals to 3 on almost the same number of armor breaks is real unfortunate.
Yeah, that's interesting because the average armor should have been around 9 for Rogue's Gallery. Huh.
Well,
right?
Yeah, well, so Rogue's Gallery is the Chorf team.
Oh,
so they have a bunch of AV9, but also a bunch of AV7 guys.
Okay.
But the Chaos are mostly AV8.
Yeah.
And let me just take a look at these two teams to get. I'm pretty sure that the Chaos Dwarfs have a lot more Mighty Blow. Actually, no, they don't. They just have one Mighty Blow piece and 3 claw pieces.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I was like, the Respectable Gents got the better of this exchange with having more vulnerable players because of the armor on the goats. But I mean,
well, the Hobgobs are the more vulnerable pieces.
Yeah, but you only have 3 out there instead of 7 out there.
Only 1 Mighty Blow on the field in this, or for each side on this. So surprising that they were able to get as many removals as they did.
I mean, you can't argue with that when they start rolling.
Yeah. But big week for the Respectable Gents in terms of SPP pickup. If we take a look at the SPP, it's that 16 SPP, but it's perfectly placed to get. So, did I say Gents? I meant Rogue's Gallery. The RG team picked up 16 SPP. Perfectly placed on that RG team to get 3 levels.
Absolutely. I was looking at Rogue's Gallery because he's my next opponent, and he rolled perfectly. I mean, his player Grodd got 6 points on that game alone, and I know he's going to get piling on or something crazy here.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
so
a killer.
He's got a Bull Centaur, his Agi 3 Bull Centaur leveled. He's got a Chaos Blocker, Dwarf Blocker picked up a level. Already has Mighty Blow and Claw. Yeah, so piling on or tackle, or he already has tackle, yeah, so probably piling on. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And then his Kick Block Hobgoblin picked up a level, which is interesting. I don't know what you take now on that piece, but
now you cut him.
Yeah, I would highly consider cutting him if he doesn't roll with some kind of interesting levels or stats here. Unfortunately, his is only Kick player, but it is what it is. Maybe he rolls doubles and you get guard on him, and then you keep him.
Do you really need Kick on a Chaos Dwarf team though? I mean, you're not gonna.
Yeah, I mean your Bull Centaurs have a ton of movement.
But do they jump the line very often with them?
Sorry?
Do they jump the line with them very often? Like if you put a good kick, is it really worth it just to run over with a Bull Centaur by himself? I mean, I know vampires do it and go over there and throw it back, but what's the Bull gonna do when he grabs it?
The Bull is going to get there and just be a pain in the ass piece in the way to keep you from getting your ball on your drive.
Okay.
But he could also, I mean, like he does have an Agi 3 Bull Centaur that could catch it and has Strength 4 block to be in the way and hard to take down.
All right.
But yeah, I guess, I mean, I would not have taken Kick first on that Hobgoblin. I would have taken Dirty Player probably, and on my first 2 Hobgoblins to level, I probably would have done that. But I mean, Kick is a great skill for dictating which side of the field the ball goes. Do you want them to have to, like against a Dwarf team, you're going to kick it deep and force them to take 2 or 3 turns to safely position the ball, and hopefully they're spread out, and you can punch a hole through and get to their cage before it even reaches the line, stuff like that. It gives you more options, plenty of options, even on a team like this. All right. Now the game you've been waiting for.
No, I have not been waiting for.
Let's talk about your 2-0 win over Fallen Wonders.
This was an ugly game.
Nothing win. Speaking of Chorfs, with MVP Bull Centaurs. Frenzy Cork Quick Legs. Is that a level for him? No. Yes, it was. You got 8 S. You got. Holy crap!
I didn't want to say.
Look at all the SCP you got.
I know. I didn't want to say anything.
Jesus. So 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, That is too many. My math right now. I can't even count them all.
Don't worry about it, Jimmy. This was a game where I'd always heard, I've never played against
27.
Amazons. This was my first time. And I always heard Amazons have trouble against dwarf teams.
Oh yeah, hard counter.
The very first punch of the game, I knocked somebody right out of the game. And then, you know, my opponent's like, well, here it goes. And from there, it snowballed. I mean, every 3 turns, I think somebody was getting removed. I felt bad at the end of the game.
Oh boy.
I mean, at one point he had 4 players up. I fouled and killed. I think that's when I killed one of his players, and I apologized.
Serenity.
I said, I'm so sorry.
Serenity now is
So,
dead.
yeah, I said.
So looking at this, Fallen Wonder is that Fall actually outblocked you.
Yep.
In this game, 34 to 31.
Yep.
But your armor breaks were 22 to 4.
Yep.
So 22 armor breaks on 31 blocks. That is.
He
that's
never had a player advantage, and it just kept snowballing. It was really bad.
I mean, Amazons don't tend to have player advantages, but they tend to be just slippery and hard to pin down.
Yeah.
But when you have a team full of team full of tackle, it's a lot harder for them. It's like a hard counter.
And Mighty Blow, it was all doing its work, and I again, if he's listening, I apologize. But at least nobody on his team. The one amazing thing was that he had all these players that were injured, but I think they're all playing next week, aren't they?
Except for the dead guy.
Except for the dead one.
Serenity. He does have a wrestle line woman that is missed next game, but otherwise, yeah, 8 Kaz, 4 KOs, 1 kill.
Yeah.
Only one 2
missing,
permanent.
2 missing?
Yeah.
So
1 permanent and 1 missed next game. Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, it's not great, but I would not like. Well, it looks like I would not have liked to play this game as Paul. But
and yeah, he was a really nice guy. So it was just one of those weird things where the dice were just rolling for me, and I didn't want to stop. It is what it is. Don't worry, I get my comeuppance next week when I go up against the other Chaos Dwarf coach, who's sitting on
Rouge's Gallery.
He's sitting on those 3 claws. It's gonna be an ugly game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So looking at this team, though, they, not a ton of permanent loss. The Blitzer's already been replaced, and he's already got 3 guard Blitzers here. So I'm not too concerned if I was him.
Still sitting in the top spot, right? So.
Yeah, still sitting in the top spot, and is pretty. So unlike the last Division 9A. Where there was 4 teams tied for top spot at the end of week 4. Here it's pretty. So first place all by himself, despite the loss, and then tight from spots 2 to 7 here. So.
Yeah. And the other thing is, he did say that
2 through 8.
He got his games he was worried about out of the way now. I think he had to play the Orcs, the other Chaos Dwarf, and me. So those should. I think he was worried about those games because of all the tackle. So he's still at the top of the division, and his harder games are behind him. So he's got room to do something in this division. If the division kind of stays the way it is, where there's not a lot of other teams to tackle.
Yeah, unfortunately, in something unique to this division, he's going to play all these teams twice. So.
Yeah, that could.
Or not all of them, but.
It's going to be randomized, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it works.
I think it's a Swiss format, if I recall. But so if you win, you play other teams that won. So it could be more tackle teams.
Yeah, could be.
It
was an interesting one.
Really unfortunate game for the Amazons. I'm looking at that still. Like 22 breaks on 31 blocks is even for AB7. I guess it was all AB7 versus Tackle Mighty Blow, but
Tackle Mighty Blow just doing work.
Despite outblocking you.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's just because I had a man advantage so quick that he had to, double me up, hit, go, whereas I had the luxury of just waiting for him to come to me, and I didn't have to throw as many blocks. That was a good time for me, not so much the other way. Anything else interesting here?
No. This is a interesting division. So I mean, it is very tight all the way up and down the ladder.
It is. We have
for
No, we have
Buzzard.
2 teams left that don't have a loss.
But
yeah, Castlevania Creeps and Thunderstrike.
in there.
And then I don't think anybody's really out of it because there's no clear runaway right now.
Right.
So any of the top half teams can get in.
Top 9
Yeah.
are still very close.
Yeah. It should be a good rest of the season.
And that 10th team is nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah. Good times. All right.
Yeah, so that's it for Division 8.
End of Division 8. Is there anything else you wanted to go over?
On this Punchmans Field Trip? No, I think that does it.
All right. Well,
so like I said, so Division 4 is back in the trusting hands of Callisti Maya.
Yeah.
And I think that's who took it over, right?
Get a professional back in charge of theirs, and Rusty will be back soon.
Rusty will be back next week.
All right.
Do not
delete
fret.
the channel. Don't delete this.
Don't cry.
Yeah, don't leave. You won't have to hear me again. We're good.
Papa Rusty.
I keep calling him Rusty Seabiscuit. I don't know why, but it's okay. He mentioned my name.
Wolframajax.
Yeah, Wolframajax.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's okay.
All right. Well, we'll cut the show off from here.
I'm gonna call him Rusty Seabiscuit now.
Yeah, sweet. Good time. All right. Well, I've had a really good time with this. Hope everybody
Thanks for helping to cover the recap this week.
Yep. All right.
And I will see you all next week with another episode of Punchman's Report.
See you guys later.
See you guys later.